All right, let's get into it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's do it.
Jacob and me. Call of Duty beta. Battlefield 5 beta. I think the Call of Duty beta is out right now, right? Or no, is it the 11th? I think it's the 11th. You have to pre-order on the 11th.
Well, it already happened once at least.
There's a new
I
one
did play it
that
already.
they're gonna do. That
You got to get it right. It's the private beta
It's a
because
pre-order beta.
the beta's rank is private.
Okay.
Get it?
No.
No,
Anyways.
I mean that's literally what it's called. I think.
Okay. But regardless, so you played the Call of Duty beta like about a month ago now?
I think like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
And then the Battlefield beta is going on as we speak.
It is.
So you've had your hands in both pots.
I have,
I've only had my hand in one pot,
but with both hands.
I'm
Hands in one pot.
I'm not talking about like a pot full of poo poo that I love touching.
Okay.
All right,
Didn't need to go there, but okay.
that's too bad.
All right. Yeah, so I got to spend a full weekend with the Call of Duty beta because the friend that I file share with pre-ordered it. Not because I chose to go play this, but I decided to try it. Call of Duty is obviously something that we all played, like the Modern Warfare 2, the first couple Black Ops, like that sort of era. And then like I think all of us have kind of fallen off a little bit with like I almost said Infinity War. Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare,
I played
Black
all
Ops
those,
3,
but I was
Ghosts,
never-
COD Ghosts, stuff like that. For me, this was actually a little bit of a return to form for Call of Duty. There's no like running on walls and no jetpacks and no. There are a couple like individual class abilities that do allow you some of those abilities, but it's not just like, oh, everyone can just run around wherever kind of thing, which I really enjoy. It's faster paced than just about anything else that it competes with in like the FPS genre. They did divide up. You can customize your loadout still, but you then can also pick. There were, I believe, 10 different classes, and so now you have like a mini super and a super. Like in Destiny, how you can like, depending on as you're getting kills and like completing objectives and stuff like that, you get like you build up a super and then you can use this like super powered thing. So there's like a low level version of that's basically just on a timer that you can use every so often. And then there is one where like if you accumulate enough points in the match, then you can use this like super.
Yeah, I'm not really into like the incorporation of like super stuff. I've never thought it kind of brought any depth to the game. I just feel like it makes things just more chaotic on purpose, I guess. But I guess you're a little bit more strategic, kind of grabbing on to like the low kind of thing where you have certain timers and whatnot for your abilities and your base shot, whatever you want to call it. So it kind of makes sense to put it into shooters, but I'm not really into that kind of like, that's not my cup of tea in a way for a Call of Duty game. My cup of tea was like last year's edition with the World War II, just bare bones. I feel like that's like close to what close to what I think a good shooter is. Not trying to throw all these like chaotic things. Like I don't like think of Destiny as a good shooter at all.
Okay.
It's like I don't.
Fair enough, I guess.
Like anything close to a Counter-Strike or to a Doom or a Quake, whatever you want to call it, or and then even to Siege, which I think is a different type of shooter, but anything closer to those are like what I think are far superior.
Yeah, they also changed the way that the damage, not necessarily I guess the damage, but the healing works. So now you have like a little like thing that you inject yourself with to like initiate the healing process. You won't just like recover your health like in older Call of Duties. Actually, I think World War II had something like similar where they did tweak the healing mechanism a little bit. They did have all of the typical game modes. There was like TDM, kill confirmed, domination, which they did tweak a little bit, but same concept, like capturing an objective. It felt a little bit more like I forget what the game mode is called in Destiny, where there's like 3 flags and you have to capture like each one, and like if you're holding
like Domination or King of the Hill,
that kind of concept, but It was like you capture. It was like a mixture of Conquest and Battlefield, where like you capture a point, then like it's captured, and like Destiny, where it's like this like ring you have to like area you have to stand in to be capturing, and you can like contest if there's like more than one person, and like the same thing. It's like neither one of you are capturing it, basically, like that sort of thing.
I think it's domination, but it's okay. It sounds like
No,
domination.
it's a little different than like
Okay.
what the OG domination was.
Okay.
But they were like it was fine. One of my bigger gripes with Call of Duty is always the maps. It's like they all look different, but they all play the same because it's basically just lanes with like a couple paths in between each of the lanes. So like it's basically just like a 3, maybe 4 lane map. And it was definitely that's how I felt in this as well. It was basically like the all the maps are very crowded. Like they all look very nice, but they all boil down to just like various lanes and spawns. So the spawning was a little bit rough in the beta too. It was pretty easy to get spawn killed sometimes.
I think the unfortunate kind of crutch that Call of Duty has, like that kind of lane or a map structure that just doesn't really really diverse at all. It's like kind of almost the same kind of stuff like you were playing back in Call of Duty 4, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like they always have like Wetworks, like always have for some reason they always have to have like a shit map. I'm like, you guys can come up with anything else. Like, it's kind of a little frustrating. But I feel like the map structure for like a Call of Duty 4, like it was fresh, it was new, but like kind of rehashing everything and kind of changing the surroundings basically I don't think is worth it. It's almost turned into like how a sports game is when you think about it. That like how the map structure, like you're just really just playing the same maps with different guns.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting a roster update of guns.
Yeah, I guess. All the guns, you got to use there were like 3 or 4 guns available for each type. They're all fine. They all kind of feel the same to me. Obviously, some of them are semi-auto, some of them are fully auto, stuff like that. But all the ones that are fully auto kind of felt the same. My probably biggest problem with it in the beta in general was that they removed your grenade from your loadout unless you are willing to sacrifice your like mini super, the one that's on a timer. So I found it at times very difficult to deal with people who were camping like hard because you couldn't flush anyone out with a grenade. Unless you were willing to sacrifice that ability, but like I don't view that as a fair trade.
Well, it's still like beta. Like what you're gonna figure out, like they'll figure all that kind of stuff out at this time.
Yeah, I guess
to balance the game to make it playable. I still think like Call of Duty it's a great shooter if you literally have no friends. It's like the perfect shooter to play. I feel because like you can just jump in and play. I love playing deathmatch by myself. Or whatever free for all, like it's easier. It's fun to come in and just jump in by yourself and try to be like a top 3 player in the lobby or whatnot. And
yeah,
the lobbies are always like clean. My problem too is like my gap in online play from like I think I stopped playing at Modern Warfare, no Black Ops, to where and then the other ones I kind of sprinkled myself in, like I would like borrow the game or pick it up and then return it because I was like I'm not really down for this, and then I wouldn't play like the online as much as I used to, and then so I kind of like lost like what was going on, like starting from what was the one before World War II called, the one with
that was Infinite Warfare.
Yeah,
I think.
like
the one with Conor McGregor and
what's his name, the dude from the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones. I can't even remember.
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. Yeah, like the way that was all structured and whatnot, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I don't know about crates and whatnot. I'm just like, can I just like play one class or play, and then I unlock as I level up. Like, I would like that a little bit more. Just like, not that I think it's not confusing or it's more confusing. It just I want it to be more of the resemblance of that. But that's just me being old.
That game was too much of a step towards Destiny for me, where it was like everyone had like little jetpack boosts. You could like run along on the walls. That was like a bit of like a shock to me the first time I played that game. I was like, wow, this is like not at all the Call of Duty that I remember.
Yeah, it just Call of Duty mechanics mixed in with that kind of.
Yeah, but this is definitely a step back towards like I would say more like the later, like a Black Ops 3, maybe like Advanced Warfare sort of like type of Call of Duty. It's definitely still not like how it used to be, especially with all the like classes and supers and stuff like that they've added in now. And I think if I remember correctly, there's also a little bit of like Rainbow Six Siege element where like you can't there's like 10 classes available and you have 6 people. Like in a TDM game, you have 6 people on your team, and like no one can take the same class as anyone else.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
If I remember correctly, that's it. There is some sort of limit. Like you can't just have like 6 people that are all the same. So maybe it's 2. It's 1 or 2. So like you can't like have like a whole team of one class basically.
That's not as fun because you can like pop up. I mean, that makes forces you to kind of be a little bit more diverse. I kind of like that.
Yeah. So anyway, it was I had an okay time with it.
Mm.
It was better than I expected, but I also had very low expectations of it in general. Just because like I've had kind of bad experiences with the last few Call of Duties.
I would every time any new game now. I even have low expectations for Red Dead Redemption, but that's just me.
All right, then.
I'm a real person.
Moving on to Call of Duty's most direct competitor, I would say.
Titanfall.
Well, yeah, I guess. Going on right now, as of recording this weekend, is the Battlefield 5 beta. Battlefield was delayed by 1 month to November 20th, I believe. Last week, they announced that it was going to be delayed so that they could like use the feedback from the first closed betas to make changes to the game. A little bit concerning for me because I think like the point that I brought up to you was like how often are like annualized franchises delayed like that.
I think it was a good strategic move for me in my book. I felt like they needed to avoid Red Dead and avoid Call of Duty.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I get the point where people are saying like, well, people play both of them. I'm like, yeah, but when you look at it, that whole jam-packed area, like not everyone's going to have the money to buy all those games.
Yeah, I just don't see Battlefield and Red Dead as being competitors.
Yeah, but they're not. But
it's like
you're still like, okay, I want to play this game this week and then another game. Like, you want to buy what comes down to it like a lot from growing up like, in high school and stuff. Like, you're like, sometimes you don't get the game those games every week. So
yeah, I understand. There's people that like can't afford. That's the only thing that like to me that's the only argument is that like people don't have the money to buy that many games in a row because it would basically be I think like a 3-week stretch where it was like Call of Duty, the next week was Red Dead, the next week was Battlefield. So from that point of view, it definitely makes sense. But from Call of Duty and Battlefield have basically always launched against each other.
Yeah, but I think this Red Dead is like a different kind of beast in there because you're gonna get everyone to buy that game. I feel
that's why I don't think they needed to move. It's like everyone's getting Red Dead.
You think
the competition is Battlefield and Call of Duty.
I think they would have lost. I think they would have they would out of those 3 they would have lost the most.
Yeah, I guess. It will end up in their benefit. That
because I mean
that they moved because like there's only a couple things that come out in November, and then in December it's basically just Smash, which they're not competing against anyway because it's like just people who have Switches.
Yeah, what called Fallout?
Fallout will be before them. I think Fallout's early November before this.
So they got time.
Yeah. So they'll have basically the last like 6 weeks of the year all to themselves.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. I think it's a better move. I feel that right now playing the game, the beta, I had no problems with the beta. I felt like
playing the beta definitely relaxed me a little bit about the fact that it was delayed because it feels like a finished game.
Yeah, like all the people I've been hearing that have been playing it before, like we got the beta, they've said like, yeah, the game's fine. Like still plays like Call Battlefield, and it's also like there's like little tweaks here and there, like but like that's because I'm like, oh, it's a beta. Like I can't expect this game to be a polished game, and then just my only like gripe is like just graphically because like everything just like looks like glass sometimes. That's like me. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's like a weird gripe that I've always had. But yeah, I mean, it's not a game like I said, if you play by yourself, I would get Call of Duty. If you don't play by yourself and you have a group of friends, I would go in the Battlefield route.
Yeah,
it's better.
I've really enjoyed my time in Battlefield, but like I had it available to play, I guess, before like you guys got on, and so like, and I told you before we were recording that like I view Battlefield as like a team sport, and so like I don't like playing that game by myself. I don't like being in like a random squad because it's something where like you can really dominate that game if you have just like a little bit of coordination, and like that's something that you don't need in Call of Duty really, if you're just like jumping into matches. So I felt like, especially with the game mode types where it's like not just like TDM, like they are objective based game modes. Like I don't enjoy playing by myself. So we were like, we had, I think I did play a couple games with Josh. It was like just two of us. But like for the most part, all the time that I spent was like 3 or more people to a squad.
Yeah, because one squad can really change. Because I know there was one game where like literally we're just circling around the map, capturing points.
Yeah.
And then just mowing through people. That's all we were doing. And I was just like, dude, what the hell is our team doing?
Yeah.
And like one squad can literally carry the team.
And it really helps too when if you have like 3 or 4 people in a squad and like all of you also pick different classes, and we can just like all help each other.
Yeah. And then playing by yourself is like it's very frustrating because of the coordination like that.
Yeah.
And then you can get into a party where you have 4 guys with all the same class, and it's like, what the hell?
Or you get like, you know, like when Josh and I were playing together, like our other 2 teammates were both snipers, and like so they're like doing nothing.
Yeah,
they're like basically nothing but spawn points.
Yeah, I think sniping in that game is totally useless.
It's just they've completely changed it.
I'm sorry.
It's not like the sniping classes now. I always really enjoyed Battlefield because sniping was a skill. It was like lead your target. There's bullet drop. So like you had to account for bullet drop, whether that meant like aiming above the guy and like watching where your bullet went, or adjusting the calibration of your scope so that you didn't have to do that. And now it feels like Call of Duty sniping. It's just like, oh, there's a guy. The auto aim, it helps you a lot. The only thing that I wish is that the snipers did more damage, more like base damage, because it's only like 45 to 55 for like a shot square to the chest, and then like a headshot is a kill. So like I wish there was a little bit more damage. I wish it was like 70 to 80.
I wish there was just like a bleeding out thing if you got shot by a sniper. I think I would like enjoy that a little bit better. I think it would make it more intense.
Well, if you don't get headshot, there kind of is a bleeding out thing. Like that's because like you can get revived or whatever.
Yeah,
that is your bleeding out thing.
But I meant like while you're alive, like you're losing health unless you do like if you like.
I see what you mean.
Hold yourself or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
The game as a whole, I really enjoyed it. There was like some classic conquest, and then there was Grand Operations or something like that. I think it was called.
I played a little bit of that.
I really enjoyed it because it adds like an actual historical like story element to basically conquest.
Yeah, I'm not really into it as much.
Okay.
Yet maybe I need to play it a little like the full version of it. But playing it was just like weird. I don't know. It didn't feel natural.
Yeah. And then there was, I forget what the game mode was called, but there was one where there was like I think 6 or 8 points on the map, and like you just had to like capture as many of them as you could, kind of like domination. But that's not what they were calling it.
It's like conquest and
yeah, I don't.
To me, it's all the same. Actually, it feels like it's all the same in a way, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, I think the gun play felt really good to me. There was like where Battlefield still varies from a lot of the other shooters is that there's actually like recoil and such for like a lot of, especially the automatic weapons. The progression ability, so basically you get to like use the in-game currency to get abilities for your class. There's like a little like kind of like tech tree sort of thing, and they do become mutually exclusive at like level 3. So like once you get to the 3rd level, like you pick a side and it like takes you down opposite ways. So you have to be a little bit selective as to like how you want to approach it for like each gun. So like you can rank, as you have been for a long time in Battlefield now, you can rank up each of your guns independently.
I feel like though the maps are a little bit smaller than usual Battlefield maps. Because I always felt like the Conquest, like I'm like, oh man, I gotta go all the way over there. Jesus.
I think
it's like
what
everything's
makes it
within walking distance.
What makes it different than like the modern set Battlefields is that there's no way to travel that far quickly.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I think it's different. Like
Yeah,
there aren't like vehicles and
weird.
stuff. Like there are tanks and planes, but like not to the. It's not like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 where it's like you can just like
all the way back to
hop into a
company.
transport and like drive 10 miles to the next thing.
Yeah, there was a game mode where like it was like a conquest game mode in a way, I think, and then it moved around the map. Like that's how big the maps were. Like
Mm.
you had enough area to have like all this space and all these vehicles, but then it would change every time. And then like whenever that area closed, you like everyone had to get out of that area within a certain amount of time and then move into the next
They
area.
still have that. That's
Okay.
exactly how the conquest still works.
Okay.
It's like you take the 2 points, and except this time they can take the. So instead of in old battlefields, it was like you plant a bomb and destroy it.
Yeah.
Now
Rush.
it's like capture.
Yeah.
It's like you can capture it, but if you don't capture the other one before the other team captures it back,
Mm.
then like it doesn't matter. Like you
Yeah.
have to hold both simultaneously, and then it moves. It does the same thing.
Oh,
so
it's like a tug of war.
yeah,
Okay,
kind of.
Okay. I got you.
Although it will like they can't the defending team can't push you back.
Yeah.
So like once you capture both, then that sector is yours, the attackers, and
Yeah.
like then you move to the next thing like you do in Rush. So like it'll put a little circle on your screen wherever there's an enemy if they're like it's still in your territory. And so like you'll be able to you know where everyone is until they get back into their own territory. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my
Yeah.
time with the Battlefield thing.
Yeah, I think Battlefield is one of the stronger games I'm good at, or one of the games I'm like really strong in. I guess I'm like always at least I'm not like bragging, but I feel like confident to say like I'm always like a top 5 player, sometimes a top 3. It's just like it's more team motivated. And
Well, it's just like you can genuinely feel like you are contributing without killing people.
yeah.
That's part of what I like about
But like,
Battlefield.
but I'm not like I don't have like a negative death counting.
No,
either, so
I
it's like-
know. But like you don't like we normally when we're like playing with our friends, like we're normally top squad,
Yeah.
and it's like, but it's not necessarily kills. Like we're not running around killing a whole bunch of people. It's like
Yeah.
we're accomplishing objectives, we're destroying vehicles, we're like getting points for like resupplying teammates and like healing people, reviving people. Like you can do like basically whatever you want in Battlefield and have a good time and be productive.
Yeah,
like, for your team.
Yeah, I feel like because I was squad wiping people, and I was like, "Damn, dude, I'm fucking good at this game. Dude. I still got it. I don't got my Call of
I
Duty
still
skill,
got it.
but when I play Battlefield, dude, I still got it. I was just like, just mowing people down, dude. They didn't even see it coming. I like people don't understand flanking in that game at all.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of pathetic,
Yeah.
but I think it's all the like the next generation of kids that are just getting like coming over from Fortnite or something. I don't know what it was, dude.
Taking
It's
a break from Fortnite to play
like,
Battlefield beta.
It was like sometimes it's just like this is too easy, dog. What is going on?
I guess speaking of Fortnite, the support class, you can actually build your own fortifications now.
Yeah,
You can like pile up sandbags basically.
which is
and
the
like
most
make your own.
annoying thing right now.
Yeah, it is.
But it's an interesting tool. I think it's something that not was needed, but was like, oh, this is a nice curveball. I got to go all around now. I can't go straight through the same point every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, so Call of Duty comes out within a month. It's like early October. I believe it's the 10th of October or something like that. Battlefield is November 20th, I believe. So let us know in the comments which one of those you're most excited for. Help us settle the Call of Duty Battlefield debate.
There's not really a debate.
Which Call of Duty always wins just because like they're the vocal majority.
Mm.